Jaffa Rebellion asks a question that I know several people have wanted to know for a long time, including myself. Curious to get an insider perspective. Is there a particular reason Catalysts seem to love dunking on Rosselhog so much?
You know, I never understood why we even made Razzle.
Thank you! Thank you!
It shows up in the 20-year update, and then we invade it and destroy it. And
Mage
there's a
Leader's
part
not
of me
gonna like
that's
that one, by the way. Mage Leader's gonna be very disappointed in that answer.
well.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Hello, fellow mech warriors, Mage Leader here. Well, we've been through the ringer over the past few days, haven't we? Between Ilclan being a disappointment yet again, the confirmed death of Rosselhog, and Catalyst's idiotic firing of Blanley Pardo, Battletech is going through a rough patch, to be sure. I mentioned in my previous video that I would no longer be supporting Catalyst, Tops, or Fanatics with my business, and I was glad to see so many of you agreeing to do the same. Apes together strong. But I saw something else in the comments section that bothered me. There were multiple comments from new players stating that they were just starting to get into the hobby and have now lost interest due to CGL's actions. This video is for those people in particular. What if I told you that you can enjoy Battletech just as much as anyone else without giving CGL a dime? What if I told you that unlike 40k, you don't have to abandon ship because of the woke mob? Well, buckle up because that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Battletech is in an advantageous position for these kinds of situations. The game actually predates Catalyst licensing by decades. Indeed, the vast majority of Battletech, particularly the parts the fans enjoy the most, were created under the guidance of a company known as FASA. The IP was bought up by WizKids after FASA went under, resulting in the dark ages of the franchise both in name and in practice, before finally ending up under the umbrella of Tops. Fascinating stuff, I'm sure you'll find, but what does this mean for you? Well, simply put, the majority of Battletech's product out in circulation was produced by a company that no longer exists. There is a massive secondhand market for Battletech, be it novels, minis, terrain, sourcebooks, rulebooks, an RPG system, and even a fucking trading card game. It's also the home of a dedicated community of fans who have been making their own content for the game for decades, including a huge stretch of time when there was virtually no way to acquire official product directly from the source. There are literally dozens of ways to enjoy the Battletech universe, and the best part is that you can dive into the inner sphere without Catalyst ever seeing so much as a single C-bill from you. As I said in my previous video, Battletech is bigger than Catalyst, and in this video, I'm going to give you a basic guide on all the glorious ways to hop into the world of giant robots and heinous war crimes while keeping your conscience intact. So let's not waste any more time and just dive right in, shall we? First things first. How in the hell do you get into Battletech if the rulebooks are all made by Catalyst? Well, that's the cool part. They aren't. Or at least they haven't always been. The Battletech rule set has been around for a very long time, which means that there are dozens upon dozens of older editions that you can get your hands on. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that mean that you'd be playing with outdated rules? Well, you'd be surprised. Battletech has changed very little over the years compared to other tabletop games, and the current rule set is more or less the same as it was in the 1980s. Battletech doesn't so much evolve as it engorges. The advanced rules, you know, the ones that 3 people in the whole universe use, those are the ones that have changed the most, and even then, the changes tend to be the addition of yet more rules that your average player tends to ignore. So, if you track down an old rulebook on eBay, you can rest assured that more likely than not, it will allow you to enter the world of giant robots just as well as the current Catalyst product. Alpha Strike is a little more tricky, since it's a far newer system, but it also has the benefit of being a wonderfully simple system that you can teach someone in an afternoon. Get a photocopy of the roll tables from a buddy, and you'll have everything you need to start playing. Trust me, only one person at the local store needs to own the Alpha Strike rulebook. Most everyone has the rules memorized within 2 games. Beyond that, there's the ever-excellent MechWarrior RPG system, which also goes by the name A Time of War. Once again, getting these books secondhand isn't difficult. They've been printed for a very long time, and the Battletech community is filled with people who buy multiple copies of books just to have a different piece of cover art. Ask around your local store, check the internet, see what you find. Failing that, there are other options as well, but I'm not the sort to encourage taking to the high seas.
Grin, grin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
This approach works for the novels as well. They have a tendency to pop up where you least expect them. I walked into a used bookstore one day and found a collection of about a dozen Battletech paperbacks just sitting there for 50 cents a pop, and once again, eBay is a glorious place, as is thriftbooks.com. In fact, I purchased a number of my favorite Battletech books from Thrift Books in particular. It's a service entirely built around tracking down used copies of books from across the internet. Think of it as a sort of Trivago for novels. Who knows, you might even be able to track down the source books with it. Moving on from the books themselves, let's dive into the tabletop proper. Really, this is the easiest part for the new Battletech player, and fans of 40k are probably well aware of these methods, but I feel that it's worth touching on them anyway. It's not at all uncommon to see people selling old minis online in bulk, often at discounted prices. I've seen people collect entire Warhammer armies this way, and for some games like Middle-earth, it's pretty much the only way to get in. Battletech has had a thriving second-hand miniature market pretty much since online shopping was invented, and I'm sure there's somebody at your local store who would be willing to part with some of his massive collection for a paltry sum of sea-bills. Granted, a lot of the minis you'll encounter this way will be old Ironwind Metals figures, which range in quality from decent to oh my god, what in the unholy name of Mary's left nipple is that abomination. But if that's an issue for you, then there are other options as well. We all know the meme, 3D printer go brrrr, but it's more than just a catchphrase. Battletech has some truly talented 3D artists who make fantastic models of totally not battle mechs that can be purchased or in some cases straight up downloaded for free. I have a couple examples here to show off, and there are links to their content in the description. Now, I understand that not everyone has their own 3D printer. I don't either, but I still have an extensive collection of 3D printed battle mechs. Some of the online storefronts will print them off for you, but even if they don't, it's not too hard to find someone with a printer. My local game store has at least 5, some of which will print minis for me for free, simply using them as an excuse to test out the settings on their machines. There are also businesses that specialize in 3D printing your STLs for you, and there could be a few in your area if you look. But where do you find these models? Well, here are a couple places to get you started. Locust Labs is run by a good friend of mine, and her work is impressive. While her portfolio isn't massive yet, it's always growing, and her work is solid. She also makes infantry and powered armor, which is less common in the 3D modeling space. On top of that, she's got a free mech available on her store page, so you can try out her designs without having to worry about losing money, though I'm sure once you see how good it is, you'll want to send her some cash. Sylogy is a creator who I'm sure needs no introduction for the Battletech faithful. His work is spot on, giving us some of the best third-party battle mechs you can find online. Most of my collection is filled with his work, and he hasn't ever disappointed me. I've also found him to be quite friendly and personable, not to mention helpful. So go and show him some love, and tell him Mage Leader sent you. It won't get you a discount or anything, I just want people to talk about me. I'm selfish like that. Sylogy builds minis based off of MechWarrior Online's art style, but also makes an effort to ensure that they are stable, workable tabletop figures. It's quality work, and his selection is impressive. For more niche battle mechs, check out places like My Miniature Factory and Thingiverse, and you might be surprised at what you find. This goes for terrain and hex maps as well, and custom campaigns and other fan-made content is everywhere. Riley Centrella, a good friend of mine, offers a lot of custom TROs and campaigns on her Patreon, and even publishes a monthly magazine containing more fan content, including a series of short stories written by yours truly. Riley's a Canopian, which means I should probably despise her entire being, but she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met, and an absolute joy to work with. So go and send her some of your disposable income so that she can see the benefits of capitalism firsthand. Finally, I want to touch on some external programs that will allow you to jump into the game without the need for any official products at all. If you go online and search for a little something called MegaMech, you can get yourself one of the best ways to play the game with your long-distance friends online. MegaMech is a Java-based program that contains all the rules for Battletech, allowing you to build your own list and play both against AI opponents and online against other players. You don't need any dice or record sheets, as all the calculations are done automatically, which greatly improves the speed of the game. The UI takes a little getting used to, but once you learn it, you'll have one of the best ways to play the game. Not only does MegaMech let you play online, it also includes a tool for creating your own rules-legal custom battle mechs, allowing you to field your own wild creations both in the software and on the tabletop. Oh, and did I mention that it's 100% free? Because it is. Link in the description. There's also a mobile app known as Mech Factory, which is a perfect companion for someone who doesn't want to buy or print off huge numbers of record sheets. It allows you to track everything that happens in your tabletop game digitally, as well as containing a database of every single existing battle mech and variant, its record sheets, and even its Alpha Strike cards. It's incredibly useful, and I have it installed on every mobile device I own. Some features are locked behind a small one-time paywall, but the essential features are available for free. For those of you with paper allergies, it's an absolute must-have. So that's a lot of information, and I hope you found some of it helpful. But before I sign off, I just want to say one more thing. As I said in my previous video, Battletech is bigger than Catalyst. I don't ever want to give the appearance that I don't want new players to join in on the game. In fact, I'm not even opposed to new players going out and buying Catalyst's products. If you're comfortable with that, then that's perfectly fine by me. But for those of you who are as pissed off with Tops and the rest as I am, don't give up the ship. A franchise like this only exists because we decide that it does. There is so much of this setting to enjoy without ever once touching a Catalyst product. It still has one of the best, most fiercely dedicated and supportive communities in all of gaming. It's still got some of the deepest and most compelling lore you will ever find. It's still got giant motherfucking robots, and no amount of corporate cancel culture bullshit is going to change that. Yes, Battletech is going woke right now, and that really sucks, but it doesn't have to end that way. We, the true fans, guys like myself, Big Red, Razorfist, and Tex, aren't going anywhere. We're going to be right here enjoying this universe right along with you, and you don't have to compromise your morals to stick around. Quite the opposite. If you run from the woke crowd and jump ship to something else, they're only going to follow you and ruin the next thing too. You can't outrun a parasite. The only way this stops is if we put our foot down and say no. Rub Battletech in their entitled faces. Show them that their bullshit doesn't affect your fun. Nothing will piss off an NPC more than seeing you enjoying yourself. Make no mistake, you jumping ship is precisely what they want, because if you leave, then they're all that remains. And if you're new and looking to get into this hobby, then I beg you to consider staying. The more of us make a stand, the more hope we have for things to change, and there isn't a Battletech fan alive who wouldn't love to have you join us and stand right beside us. Come on in and enjoy the stompy robots with the rest of us. We're not going to let these assholes ruin our fun, and neither should you. Long live Battletech, long live the FRR, God bless Blaine Pardoe, and until next time, this is Mage Leader, signing off.